Hey, we are live. Quality. Okay, get some comments going. Cool. Anyone wants to throw a comment up? Throw a comment. I can throw it on the screen. Any questions? That's cool. You can have a Q&A with me if you like as well, or just throw it up into the comments below if you're watching this and it's not live. Hashtag replay. Always say hello. Any questions, and I will get back to you soon. So, happy Tuesday morning. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you're well. I want to talk to you today about the three parameters, the three hot pillars for a happy, fulfilling life. And it basically goes back to basics. And I talk about this with my clients. And if anyone's ever jumps on the call, and I'm offering free clarity calls at the moment for people that want to talk about where they are or find out more about what I do, and that's fine. And I love to give that 30 minutes to anybody, and we can just get on a call and have a chat. And what I will always talk about, I will talk about how we need to act, interact, and be positive and think positively. So what does that actually mean? Well, we have, let's just make it really simple. We've got two brains. We have a conscious mind, which is attached to an intellectual resource known as the intellectual brain. We also have a primitive brain. The primitive brain is made up of very, very important parts, which have got chemical responses, your behavioural patterns, and your fight, flight, or freeze. And that is programmed into us, into our DNA. So we have a lot of automatic responses, and our subconscious is awesome. It's a bit like a supercomputer. And like when you go into Google searches and things like that on your phones or wherever you're doing it, it will always reach for things that it's done before. Your brain is not innovative, so it will always refer to previous patterns of behavior as its go-to. Same way as a search engine would, unless you clear the history, right? So how do we clear the history in our minds? Well, you do that through creating new habits. New habits have to be created by repetition. So by doing new things over and over again, and this is why we get good at things. You know, you never kicked a football or put your makeup on right the first time, did you? You get better and better at anything you do. When we're young, we kind of think that we can't do things, and that stops us from doing things, and we think we're not good enough. But actually, that's not true, because we still think that as adults. We've still got that inherited disbeliefs and faulty beliefs built into us because of we've never gone really about changing it. So in current times now, with what's going on in the world and people have got heightened stress and worries about things, what happens? We fall into a lot of old, programs. So there's a lot of people with anxiety, a lot of people stressed, people not sleeping. So how do we flip that round? And the three pillars for a happy, fulfilling life, essentially by thinking happy, acting, the way you act and interact with other people positively creates a constant flow of serotonin in your brain. And when you create that constant flow of serotonin in your brain, we are happy, brave, coping little souls. But what it does, more importantly, it keeps us in our intellectual mind, in our conscious mind. Our conscious mind is you. That's you that makes decisions and interacts with the world, and is aware of that interaction as well. But unfortunately, when we're in that low place, we're not producing these chemicals and what have you. And so what happens is then we just go into like autopilot. And so what we did yesterday to ensure our survival, we'll be encouraged to do it again. So if you was worrying and stressed and not sleeping, and then you have 60, 70,000 thoughts every single day, and majority of those thoughts will be the same day in, day out, unless you're doing something consciously to change that. That's super, super powerful and important. So let's break it down a little bit. So thinking, okay, our subconscious mind is always on record. It's always listening to you and taking orders from you. What you think about, you create. So what you focus on, your energy goes to. So when your mind is constantly listening and taking orders from you, if you're sitting there saying, I'm stressed, I'm unhappy, why me, why me, why me, it's just you're gonna be highlighting more of those things to make you to reaffirm that, because it's where your focus goes, your energy flows to it, and you actually see that it shows up. So where you effectively have your mind's eye or where you're focused on. It's like shining a light on things. So if you're, like me, a positive, happy person, even in the face of, let's go that way, in the face of diversity, I'm still going to be picking up on good things and being happy and being giving value and doing stuff where other people might not be that way. And I know probably most of you would be little bit in awe, like, why am I on camera? Why am I so chirpy and happy? When and one way to look at it, well, it could be dead, but every single day is like that. Us actually being here is an absolute fucking miracle. For everything to have happened and to align for you to actually be here, for human beings to be here, it is an absolute miracle. And miracles happen every single day, and I truly believe that. And yes, I'm not a massive kind of faith or religious person, but I believe that there's more than just us, and I believe that through what I've been studying and how I work with people and the dynamic changes that I've made in my life and how I know I think differently now, and I can help people do that and facilitate that change in themselves. And it's purely by living life by these pillars, by being aware of these things. And you're thinking positively, you get more things to be happy about, and you shine the light on more things. So then that makes you act positively, and then that's the actions you're taking, because emotions are energy in motions, and we are energy beings. We are all charged. We've got our cells have got positive and negative in them. So the more positive things we do, the more happy we are, the more our vibration is higher. So it's a bit like sort of having a toy with a fully charged battery will go faster or will run longer than if your batteries run down. Now that makes perfect sense. So if you start being aware of that and changing the way you do things and being aware of your state, your physiology, you can either use your mind to change how your body feels or use your body to see how your mind feels, because it's all connected. And we're talking about chemicals. So if you're anxious and you're scared and that sort of thing, you have an overload of adrenalines and stress hormones and what have you. But they're actually the same hormones and neurotransmitters that are released if you're excited or if you're scared. The only difference is the actual label. And that then comes down to being aware of what you're thinking about. So if you get anxious and you're actually ruminating, which means you're thinking, overthinking, all of this, and life is all about our thoughts and what we're focused our thoughts on. And overthinking is like the biggest addiction of our time. That and sugar. And unfortunately, negativity comes into all that because we've all got a negative bias with what we consume in our minds and our bodies. So we need to be doing these positive things, acting positively. You might not fancy going to the gym or go for a swim or stretching your body and moving. We need to move our bodies. When we move our bodies, so for instance, if I want to lose a little bit of fat around my waist, I need to do more exercise around my waist, because then that means that there's going to be more energy flowing, more energy, more movement. So that means then the fat cells will break down and it'll be replaced with muscle. Nothing's going to happen if I'm just sat at home eating crap food, feeling sorry for myself. Then it's a vicious circle. Also, another main thing in all of this, guys, is sleep. Sleep is so important because if you're in your primitive mind, which is always focused more on negativity and will shine the light on more negative things for you, you're then going to worry about those things. You'll be thinking about when you go to bed, and you won't be able to let stuff go. So then you're going to not sleep as well. So then you're going to be more fatigued, more tired the next day. And then what's going to happen? Your thoughts aren't going to be in the best possible place, and you're going to be encouraged to be more negative. So you can see how we start getting you back on track is by focusing on what's been good, focusing on the good things in your life, and then starting to reprogram and create some new habits. Because when after about 21, 28 days, neurons that fire together wire together in your brain, and they create neuronal clusters, and then they start showing up by themselves. So it's about being positive and saying good things to yourself. The communication and the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship in your life, because that's where everything starts. Everything starts with us. Everything starts in our own head. Does that make sense to you? I hope that you found that interesting. I've gone out on all my social media channels because I'm in the office today. The aircon's on. It's nice and chilled. I've got my Kangen water machine here as well. I woke up last night. Well, I say woke up. I've not really been to sleep very well for the last couple of nights. Obviously, I've got to be very careful. If you haven't seen what happened before and you're thinking, wow, what happened to that guy? I had a bike accident, not a bike, unfortunately, the push bike. But I'm quite happy. But that's good. It gives me. I love the freedom I have on a push bike. I love good energy flow. It's good exercise. And I live in Spain. I always ride my bike in England as well, but I do have a car in England. Um, and maybe I'll have a car wherever I do go. But I'm quite happy with that. I can't really jump on my bike just yet because I'm a bit sore and where I've fallen face first off my bike and scraped all my hands and stuff. My chest after a couple of days is really, really painful now. And so it's been hard to sleep. And but it doesn't stop me, doesn't bring me down. I still want to, by me doing positive things and taking that positive action. So I go back to these three pillars. I'm thinking positively about the things I want to do, um, concentrating on the positive things in my life, then making me act positively, and then I'm interacting positively with the people I'm around, or even by doing these lives and actually interacting with people virtually on the internet. I don't tend to watch the news that much. My dad does, and I hear it in the background, but I don't believe a lot of what's being said on there, and I certainly don't focus on it because where focus goes, energy flows, and that's super, super powerful. I mean, I know that I've just given you a lot of information there, and watch it again because this information isn't going to change. And if you go back to even when I first discovered doing the hypnotherapy and all this stuff is the basis of solution focused hypnotherapy. And what we're doing is we're helping you in a passive and non-aggressive way, and in a relaxation focused way, allowing you to have positive thoughts come into your mind through the medium of hypnotherapy and relaxation therapy. And then by getting you to start change your focus and asking you how, you know, to stop focusing on what you don't want, start focusing on what you do want, being grateful for the things that you have. And then it actually falls into sort of like law of attraction. And then you like starting going down the roads of kind of like spirituality, believing that we're energy beings and that we are not alone. Some people label it as sort of like their faith as religion, and whatever terms of a deity that they use, and that's fine. But essentially, I think it's pretty safe to say that we are all connected. Even people that are like maybe atheists or think that there's no such thing, that we live, we die, and it's black and it's all that kind of thing. We go to nothing. We come from the earth. We go back to the earth. I even think it's hard for those people to kind of have that argument that how do we pick up on feelings? How can we sense things? I mean, we've got our five senses, right, which is amazing, but then we can't pick up on everything because our heads would blow off our shoulders. We have to process and we have to eliminate some of those thoughts and those feelings and things, all the colours and the sounds and your senses, all your senses. There's too much coming in at any given time. So we have to delete, distort and generalise. And that's an internal filter system we have based upon the biases and the programming and your personality traits. Basically, that is what it is. So if you're a negative person, and let's talk about the filtering things, and people are talking to you, you're going to pick up on all the bad things they're saying. You're going to pick up the bad things in the day. So by using hypnotherapy and by talking and having coaching and changing how we think and feel about certain things and become more aware of our state and that we've got full control over these things, we can really take back control and live a much happier, fulfilling lives, even in the face of diversities and things that are going on right now. It's no excuse to not basically put your best interests at heart, because if you was on a ship or on a plane and it was like in some sort of danger or crisis, you would have to put your mask on or your jacket on first. So it's all well and good being a good human being and a good mum, dad, sister, family member, and worrying about everyone else. But it's super, super important you worry about your state, because your state, you have to fill your cup up. And when your cup is full, you're vibing a bit higher, you're vibing and giving off more. And you can then be in a much better position to actually go out and help someone else. So don't ever look at things like being selfish as a bad thing, because you break down certain words like self-ish. You've got to put yourself first to put yourself in the best position for them to be able to actually give to others, right? I like it when people are like, oh, this is impossible, but when what's impossible? I'm possible. believing in yourself, doing some self-development stuff, even if you think it's woo-woo and voodoo and what have you. I mean, I don't look like someone that's kind of, dancing around with the fairies and stuff. Am I too much? And I'm a pretty straight talking guy. I'm very, I'm very matter of fact, and I'm opinion based because, of course, we all are opinion based. Again, based on what we know, based upon the biases and our filter systems that are in place. There's all super, super powerful stuff. I love talking about this stuff, and I essentially love helping people, and that's why I've been reaching out more recently to basically, rather than people be confused about what you do or what you don't do, just be me, unapologetically and authentically me, so that I can just make more and more connections. And then whether or not those connections want to know, a bit of support, a bit of guidance and mentoring. And mentoring means like you're going to be told what to do, or within the coaching or with the hypnotherapy, it's passive and it's learning and it's taking stuff in. But with coaching, more so, it's about getting to those realizations together by using thought-provoking language. But also, that's not the only thing. I've got this office so that I can have my team calls because I'm a social media marketer, which essentially means affiliate marketing. And now some of you might get lost. But it basically means you're using the internet to sell products and services. But I don't work with any products and services. I use this to promote myself, and I use it to help other people through the content that I put out, but also to attract people that want to know how to earn, or to start social media businesses, start working online, which is really, really powerful with everything that's going on in a safe and non-scammy kind of way. Even though what I do, and I've been doing it for a year and a half, and it's to do with water and health. So that's about what's going into your body. So everything I'm talking about now, about our minds and our bodies and being physical and being the best versions of ourselves, super powerful. So why wouldn't something like this actually, and be involved with a positive community of people that work, like entrepreneurs that work online, why wouldn't that suit my lifestyle? Well, of course it does. It complements it and works very well together. And in the background of what I'm doing, a lot of people that have message and make comments, and say thank you or keep going, or even talk the same language as me, are online coaches or they are online entrepreneurs, and we're all in the same boat. And that's a large community. We started a new community in February, so it was more aligned kind of with us and the positivity and about helping people, genuinely helping people for the sake of helping people, and then them being taught like someone helped me to get to where I am in mental and physical. It's important that there's people that are like-minded to help the other person. And there's 2,500 people in our community now, and they are all, they're all rockets. They're all great people. They're all very positive. They're all very driven. But we've all got our own fears. We've all got things that hold us back. We've all got things that we're worried about. But we're all there together as a community. It's almost like a big, big family. And people haven't seen communities like that because we're not, in modern world, we're not used to kind of helping each other out, are we, that much, which is fucking terrible. So when I am actually reaching out and offering calls and people don't turn up, to them they might not put much value on it. Well, I do because I know that I'm genuinely like helping people, and even if this was a one-on-one call, someone could like take notes. You're not going to take everything in that I'm saying. I didn't take anything in. I've been doing this over and over and over again, to the point of when I've been lying in hospital, for 12, 14 hours without my headphones, without being set up like I would have chose to have been, like with the kind of equipment and stuff I've got here in my office to allow me to meditate and chill out or read certain things. But where I've been doing that over time, it all showed up. All that programming, all that positivity has all shown up by myself. It kept me vibing high. It kept me being able to be like, just trust that my body's going to heal, that I'm okay, I'm strong. I mean, if I had a worse mindset, the chances are I would have been lying in the street after I'd come off the bike, would have just lied there or waited for someone to help me, or tried ringing people or shouting, help, help. And I didn't. I got up, I went and chained my bike up, I kind of held my face and kept saying to myself, you are strong, you're going to be okay, everything's going to be okay, you are strong, don't sit down, don't cry, don't be upset, you're going to be okay, mate, because you're fucking made of strong stuff and everything's happening for you and everything's happening for a reason. Um, sometimes you don't even know what those reasons are, but everything is happening for a reason, and there's lessons in everything, and I know what the lessons were in this. And if you want to know what those lessons were, then go back and have a look at a couple of my other videos. Um, so I'm going to get off. I've set up my water machine for my marketing business online here at the office today. So that's great because where I was staying somewhere else because my dad and stepmom were moving, so I can stay with them until I'm a little bit more settled here, and it's nice to be around them because they're worried and they're a high risk category with what's going on in the world. Then I went and stayed with some really, really good friends, and we're going to set up where I used to do like a fitness and fun thing in England. But I stopped doing it because I was doing too much, and I was starting to do coaching and mentoring, and that's going to be great out here. And we're gonna start getting some families and people together in small groups, of course, all guidelines and restrictions, and we're gonna like play some fun games, like playground games on the beaches and meet up and do that whole social thing. So you think about what I'm talking about here with being happy and fulfilling and getting ourselves out and thinking and acting and interacting positively. That kind of thing is exactly the remit we're talking about. Um, Interacting with your family, interacting with your friends, getting your body moving, stretching, going out, fresh air, interaction. Super, super powerful, super, super important. And just remember, your mind is always listening to you and taking orders from you. And whatever you think about is going to show up in your lives. So be careful what you're thinking about, basically. Can you imagine what I could be thinking about the last sort of 36, 48 hours? And even when I'm not sleeping too well, and I fall into that trap of negative thinking and feel sorry for myself, what's going to happen? More bad shit's going to show up. So it's super, super important now that everything I practice what I preach and everything that I do to keep myself vibing high, even though I look like the bloody elephant man monster, it really doesn't bother me. And the person that I used to be, if I'd even had a scratch on my face and I would have not wanted to go to work. I mean, I remember I've never had a black eye before, had car crashes and stuff, but if I was under the weather, I wouldn't go to work. That simple. But now I've got a responsibility to everyone else out there. So if with some of my pains and what I know can help other people, then you're welcome. So you are awesome. Don't forget that you can do and be and have whatever you want. Change your mindset. Change your life. It's worked for me. It's working for me. I love what I do, and I just want more people to kind of feel some of that peace, that inner peace, and that kind of inner clarity that I have within myself. And just by not doing anything really that hard, quite passively, the first thing is basically help. I can't help anyone unless you decide to help yourself. And I didn't get the help I needed, and I left Spain, this place, 2.5, 3 years ago, because I knew I needed help. I'd spent the previous 20 odd years of my life from from childhood up to where I am now, up to about 37 years old, a few years back, and I didn't like myself, and I would make bad choices, make bad decisions, and that was just life because that's just normal. But it's not normal. The new normal isn't what's going on around us now. I won't get into what I believe what was really going on. But the new normal is inside each and every one of us, and you can choose and be and have whatever you want. If you want to sit there and listen to the news and feel scared and worried and anxious, and then when you've got the opportunity to get help, like by speaking to someone like me, or actually just helping yourself, there's so much free resources on YouTube and out there on the internet that you've got to implement it. But I know that people like misery likes company, and people, attract attract, you know, whatever like attracts like. So whatever you are, you're gonna basically you're gonna attract that. So if you're a miserable person and whatever, you'll probably attract more people. Let's throw this comment up. Show that. Ian, hello, my friend. What happened, mate? I'll quickly run into it. I've got a couple of videos on my social medias. I was coming down the hill on my way home just after 12 o'clock the other night, Saturday night, after a great win for Crystal Palace, and was out with some pals. And I was coming down on my bike, and I went over a speed bump, and the front wheel came off my bike, and I landed on my face. So I spent till Sunday afternoon in hospital, having brain scans and stuff. Everything's cool. A little bit bruised and battered. Could have been a lot worse, but I'm all cool, mate. So that's cool. Hope you're well. Catch up with you guys soon. Um, But thanks for the comment, mate. I appreciate it. So I'm going to let everyone get on with their business. And just remember what I'm saying, guys. 3 pillars for happiness. Positive, positive, positive. You've got to think positive, act positive, and interact positively. Because if you don't, you're not going to have a constant flow of serotonin, which is our happy chemicals, our neurotransmitters, that we've got everything inside us. And you don't need drugs, you don't need alcohol, you don't need, those things make us feel great or feel good or better, but a lot of the time they're masking other things. You can feel all these great feelings and create these chemicals yourself with your own body. And it all starts with your thinking, your mind, or what you're doing in your body. And one can influence the other. So I hope you're well. Love you loads. And remember, self-help starts with you. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to change, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to become, starts with a thought. But then you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to take actions towards that as well. And that's super powerful. And I'm here to support and love and guide anyone I can in their life. And that's why I've been reaching out. So throw comments up, share the video, tag a friend, even make a message, comment, because even by doing that, and I can reply to it, Facebook has this thing called an algorithm. And so the more interaction posts get and likes and love that's shown, because it's a social media, it's about being social. And that's what life's about, really. We thrive in tribes, we thrive in communities. We're not meant to be on our own. We're not meant to be segregated and feel lonely. We're energy beings. We need to be near one another. We need to touch. We need to kiss. We need to fuck. Pardon the pun. Being crude. But we do. We need that energy. We need to hug and love each other. So go out there. Go out there within your safe distance or whatever you believe, and interact, be happy, smile. And if you can't do that right now, then laugh and joke with yourself, at yourself. Why not? Don't take yourself too seriously, and dance like no one's watching. And I like all that kind of thing, and that's cool. So have a little jig with you now. Have a little force a smile. I am happy. I am happy. I am worthy and deserving. I am okay. I am healthy. I am fit and healthy. I am strong. I am powerful. I am an energy being. Everything is happening for me. Okay, guys? Mwah. Love you loads. Hope you always enjoy the videos. Sorry that they're always too long. Shouldn't really say sorry. Just say thank you for watching if you stay to the end, right? Peace. Stay beautiful, peeps. Catch you soon.